everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today we are going to talk about the Duggars because Counting On is coming back. Yes, I'm sure you are waiting at the edge of your seats, waiting for the exciting content that comes out of Counting On. Or you're probably like me and you're not. Okay, but we do cover the Duggars because let's just say there's like 18 million of them and they have these beliefs that I just don't understand. But that's not really the issue here. The issue today is Jana Duggar. So Jana Duggar has been the matriarch of the Duggar household. Like, let's just be honest here. You have to bet that in the household of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, with all of their kids that are still there, there's one lady that's holding that fort down. And her name is not Michelle, it's Jana. I've long held this belief that Jana Duggar is literally the one that does everything in this house. If you remember, Abby was in labor, about to give birth to her little girl. Michelle Duggar was like on the phone being like, Abby Duggar is coming to the hospital. Yeah, that's what she said. And Jana is back at home and she's like with all the kids and she takes all the girls to go shopping to pick stuff up to bring to Abby while she's in labor. And I remember when I saw this, it was very telling to me because the way that Jana was interacting with the girls felt more like a mother than a sister. Now she's 30 and she's got like a little sister that's like 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. Josie's 9 or 10, I think. So you've got a little sister who's 20 years younger than you. You theoretically could be a mother because Joanna, her sister, had a baby around 20 as well. So let's just call Josie Jana's daughter because that's pretty much what she is. Anyways, Jana looked like the mom as she was sort of directing the kids to go get stuff and what they were going to buy and how they needed to act and like directing them when they got to go visit Abby. So it was interesting because recently Jana sat down with Us Weekly to talk about what's going to be coming up this next season. But it was interesting because Jana didn't sit down by herself. She was joined by her mom, Michelle. This is the part that I can never understand about this family. Jana loves to go traveling and she is a very busy person and she has a lot of really awesome talents. Like she's a gardener and she is very handy. She likes to do work around the house. She likes to do construction with her brothers and do projects. And it's very clear that she keeps herself very busy, very organized, and very centered. And it's odd because every time she does anything, she's like never by herself. Like if she goes traveling, for instance, she went to Vegas with her friend Laura to go to this like home and garden show that was going on in Las Vegas, and her dad chaperoned her. So Jim Bob was like there with her. There was all these like awkward photos where he almost was like holding her. Like the way that Jim Bob was standing with her, it made it seem like he owned her and had people kind of feeling like uncomfortable when they saw that photo. So it was interesting to have her sit down with Us Weekly. And again, she's accompanied by her mother, who is sitting there kind of like waiting to interrupt Jana while Jana's talking about what's going on in her life. And the only thing they ever want to talk about with Jana is the lack of love life that she has. So Jana's 30. And in the quiverful world, or this very conservative fundamentalist world, 30 is really, it's practically ancient. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude. In the real world, 30 is totally normal. A average woman may not even be married at 30. Women are waiting longer and longer and longer to get married and longer and longer and longer to have kids. Many women are not even having their first child until their mid-30s. So it's not odd that, in the real world, she's a 30-year-old woman. In the Duggar world, where people get married at 19 and 20, she's old. And so there might be a couple factors playing into here in terms of why she hasn't been married yet. There's always been these speculations about her relationship with her friend Laura, or the fact that she's always doing things around the house and she's sort of the mom at this household, which to me seems very logical. And then there's this other thing of like, the older you get, the harder it is to find someone to court with you, because typically courting at 30 is not common. So her window as she gets older, if she's going to stay in the fundy world, shortens and her prospects diminish because she would either have to marry a man that's quite younger who is probably not going to want to marry her because she's older and won't be able to have as many children, or she's going to end up marrying someone and her age, which is also not common in that world because everyone gets married super young. So as you can see, it's providing a storyline for this show that just never ends, that Jana will never get married. So obviously Us Weekly sits down with her and they're like, so tell me, like, do you ever get tired of hearing about or having people ask about your love life? And she said that it can be tiring at times to have the same questions asked over and over and over again. And she said it depends on the date and the time and how many times it's asked. And then they asked her, like, do you feel pressured to wanting, like, that you have to get married? And she said, yes, I feel pressured and I long to be married, one day I want to be married, but I can't sit there and worry about it. I can't make it worse by thinking about it. So I just try to stay busy. I try to do things to keep myself busy and not focus on the fact that I'm not married yet. And then all of a sudden, like, Michelle interrupts, and this is all on Us Weekly, so you can go watch it. And Michelle's just like, you know, Jana just doesn't sit around and she just doesn't wait. And she just, you know, she really just does everything around the house. Like she said, if it weren't for her, half the projects around her wouldn't get done. She has her brothers get things done. And she has such a life of service and helping others. Always looking to help and serve others. Great, great, great. Awesome, awesome, Michelle. But hold up. Michelle, did you literally just admit that half of the stuff in your home would not get done if it were not for Jana? You did! You literally revealed your secret to the world that Jana is basically the mom and the person that is running your household. So is that the reason why she's not married? Is she so worn out that she's just like, I've already raised kids. Hell, I'm still raising all these kids that are still home in the house. I practically have 6 of my own children. And because mom and dad are so busy on this TV show and pretending like they're going to preach their word to everybody else, I'm the one that's managing the house, taking care of the kids, getting projects done around here. I mean, Michelle literally said half the things around this house would not get done. And then she talked about how busy she stays, how focused she is, you know, how she's always off doing stuff. And then they also talked about what's going on with the quarantine. Obviously, it's harder right now for them to spend time together with other people, to be able to meet people, to be able to do things with other people. So that's been hard. But Jana actually said she enjoyed that right now because she likes being at home and have a lower pace because they're usually moving 100 miles an hour. Okay, so what we learned in this thing is that she gets tired of people asking about it. I can't blame her. I remember I got married when I was 31 years old, and I will tell you from my own experience, I got really sick of it, especially from anyone that was like particularly concerned that I wasn't going to end up having kids, or that somehow if I didn't get married, it was going to be a mark that I was unsuccessful in life, which, by the way, should not be equated to success. Your life should be successful and can be successful regardless of whether you choose to be married, not married, have kids, not have kids. You know, there's a million different ways life can be defined successfully. So, you know, I could understand her getting irritated there, but I always just find it odd that, you know, Michelle is interrupting, and Michelle spent more of the time speaking in this interview than Jana, which I also thought was weird. And, you know, it also just makes me feel uncomfortable when a 30-year-old woman who is sitting there with her mother and her mom is answering her questions and trying to tell the person who is interviewing her, like, that Jana's just so busy it doesn't matter. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, it has to matter to Jana. And, you know, whether or not she wants to talk about it is her right. But I can't imagine being 30 and being in a position where you're still living with your mom and dad, you're still caring for their house, you're still caring for their kids, and you haven't found your own autonomy and your own independence. Because even when she travels, she typically travels with her dad or her mom. So what are the things that Jana does to stay busy? A quick peek at her Instagram will show you that, you know, she was actively helping out after some tornadoes had hit in Tennessee, doing some cleanup in the community. You know, she's an avid gardener and she loves to garden, and she commonly posts photos on her Instagram of gardening. She also appears to like to draw, and she'll post photos of her sketches. She is an avid piano player and loves playing the piano, so she'll post photos of her playing music with the kids. She loves to spend times with her nieces and nephews. She has like a lot of how-to videos where she teaches people on YouTube how to cook, how to bake, how to make rolls. She's likes to travel. She's been all over the place with her husband. I mean, her father, Jim Bob. And she also, is very involved in volunteering with this weird company that her brothers started called MedCorp, which pretends like it's a nonprofit but isn't a nonprofit, and they go places and they do things for people that are in need. And then she also likes to restore things and do construction. So she helped her brothers rebuild and revamp her parents' bedroom. She and her brothers last summer were working on restoring an old schoolhouse. She obviously is doing things that keep herself busy. She appears to like to do hands-on work, gardening, construction, drawing, playing the piano. And, she says she's an entrepreneur, but it's like, it makes me wonder, like, does she actually have a job? Besides being on Counting On, and we already know that Derek Dillard says the kids are not paid. So does she have income coming in? Like, if she uploads on YouTube, which she really doesn't upload very frequently, does she get that money? Is that money hers, or is that Jim Bob's? It all makes me feel very like I can't understand this, but at the same time, like, I really hope in some capacity she realizes she doesn't have to stay there and she can leave. And we have this saying on my channel, Free Jana. Now, I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think it is weird that she's having an interview with Us Weekly and mom and dad are going to be sitting there with her, or mom is? Now, one of my subscribers was like, well, she's so close to her mom, so it's really not that weird. They're best friends. Okay. And then some of you are like, yes, it's weird. Do you think it's weird? Do you not think it's weird? What about living at home still at 30? What about, does she not want to date because she's just tired of raising everybody else's kids? Could she potentially never get married because of that? Does she really want to get married? Like, who cares, right? I don't care. I don't care if Jana wants to get married. Everyone seems obsessed with it. And I feel bad that she persistently has to answer this question over and over and over again. But as long as she is staying busy and staying focused, that's right. But my point is, do you really think she's willingly in a place where she's staying in that house? Or is it because she has to? Because Jim Bob doesn't let his unmarried daughters leave the house, even if they're 30. Think about that. All right, you guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Tell me in the comments below.